You ever catch yourself replaying a conversation that hasn't even happened yet? You're in the shower, or lying in bed, or staring at the ceiling at 2:17 a.m., and suddenly your brain premieres a full cinematic production. You win the argument, you deliver the perfect comeback, they finally understand you. Or everything goes terribly wrong and you're humiliated in ultra high definition. No one else is there. Nothing is actually happening, but your heart is reacting like it's real. Maybe it's you. Maybe it's someone you know. The friend who imagines getting fired after one tiny mistake, or the person who fantasizes about dramatic reunions and heartfelt speeches in the car. Why do some people constantly imagine fake scenarios, arguments, disasters, love stories, confrontations, as if their mind refuses to stay in the present? It turns out this habit isn't random. It reveals something deeper about how you process emotion, control, and identity. And depending on why you do it, it can either protect you or quietly exhaust you. Let's look at the hidden psychology behind it. First, there's the emotional rehearsal mind. Picture this. You're about to see someone who once criticized you. Suddenly, your brain starts drafting scripts. If they say this, I'll respond like that. And if they bring that up, I'll shut it down. You're not crazy, you're rehearsing. Some people imagine fake scenarios because their brain is trying to prepare them emotionally. It's like a psychological fire drill. The mind simulates possible futures to reduce uncertainty. This often happens in people who grew up needing to anticipate moods, reactions, or conflict. Maybe they had to read the room carefully. Maybe unpredictability felt unsafe. So now, as adults, their brain says, let's run simulations, just in case. It feels productive, responsible even. But here's the twist. The body doesn't always know it's just practice. Your nervous system reacts as if the argument is real. Your heart rate rises, muscles tense, cortisol spikes. You were just brushing your teeth. Now you're emotionally defending yourself against a conversation that hasn't happened. Do you do this before social events, before meetings, before sending a message? If so, your imagination might be less about fantasy and more about protection. Then there's the catastrophe architect. This is the mind that doesn't just imagine scenarios, it escalates them. You send a text, no reply for 20 minutes. Suddenly, your brain writes a trilogy. They're upset. I said something wrong. They're pulling away. This is how it ends. It's impressive, honestly. Your imagination deserves a screenwriting award. But psychologically, this pattern often links to anxiety and hypervigilance. The brain scans for threats not because you enjoy drama, but because somewhere along the way your mind learned that danger can appear suddenly. So it tries to stay ahead of it. By imagining the worst, you feel like you're gaining control. If I expect it, it won't hurt as much. Except it still does, because each imagined disaster triggers a real emotional response. The stress is real, the fear is real, even if the scenario isn't. And here's something subtle. Catastrophic imagination often masks a deeper need, reassurance. Do you find yourself wanting someone to say, no, that won't happen, to calm the storm your mind just created? If yes, your fake scenarios might actually be emotional alarms looking for comfort. But not all imagined realities are dark. Another profile is the escapist dreamer. This person imagines glowing futures, the perfect relationship, the dramatic career breakthrough, the moment everyone finally sees their worth. They walk while listening to music and suddenly they're starring in a mental montage, slow motion, meaningful glances, poetic justice. This isn't anxiety, it's longing. For some people, fake scenarios become a safe emotional playground, a space where they feel powerful, admired, understood, especially if real life feels limiting. Psychologically, this can be a coping strategy. When reality feels rigid or disappointing, imagination restores a sense of agency. In moderation, it's creative, motivating even. But here's the hidden risk. If the imagined world becomes more rewarding than the real one, motivation can quietly drop. Why take action when your mind already gave you the applause? Do you ever feel slightly disappointed returning to reality after a daydream? That gap is telling. And then there's the silent overthinker. This person doesn't imagine epic fantasies, they replay tiny moments. The joke that didn't land, the tone shift in someone's voice, the way someone looked at them or didn't. They reconstruct the scene over and over, tweaking interpretations. Did they mean it like that? Was that sarcasm? Did I sound weird? This kind of fake scenario isn't about the future, it's about rewriting the past. It often appears in highly self-aware or socially sensitive individuals, people who deeply value connection and fear misalignment. Their brain searches for hidden meaning because belonging matters. But the mind, when left unchecked, fills gaps with assumptions, and assumptions are rarely kind. So if this is you, ask yourself, are you imagining clarity or manufacturing doubt? Because sometimes the scenario isn't revealing truth, it's amplifying insecurity. Now here's the bigger psychological insight. Imagining fake scenarios isn't a flaw, it's a tool. Your brain evolved to simulate reality. It helps you plan, predict, create, empathize. The problem isn't imagination itself, it's unconscious imagination. When you don't realize you're rehearsing, when you don't notice you're escalating, when you don't question the narrative your mind is writing. So what shifts this pattern? Awareness. The next time you catch yourself mid-simulation, pause. Ask, is this preparation, protection, or projection? Preparation feels strategic. Protection feels anxious. Projection feels like your fears wearing a costume. And here's something powerful. You don't have to stop imagining scenarios. You just need to choose which ones deserve your energy, because your brain will create stories either way. The question is, are they strengthening you or silently draining you? So tell me, which type felt uncomfortably familiar? The emotional rehearsal mind, the catastrophe architect, the escapist dreamer, the silent overthinker? Maybe you're a mix. Most people are. If this made you reflect on your own mental scripts, stay curious about them, observe them, question them. And if you want to explore more of the hidden patterns shaping how you think and feel, you know where to find them. Right here, beneath the surface.